Tonight's match is presented by Texas Tech Physicians of El Paso. Texas Tech Physicians of El Paso. It's more than a passion, it's a call. Welcome to the pre-match show presented by Brian Bird's Home Selling Team. Score the best deal on a home with the Brian Bird's Home Selling Team. Visit ChucoRealtor.com or call 915-751-1500.
It's the Alamo City in the Sun City, and in just a few moments, it's Locomotive FC versus San Antonio FC, presented by the Texas Tech Physicians of El Paso. But first, let's take you behind the scenes, presented by GECU. Locomotive FC players making their way into Southwest University Park tonight, fresh off that big win last week against New Mexico. Locos feeling good and looking good in their pregame fits. It's El Paso versus San Antonio. A little battle of I-10 headed your way next. Welcome to the Brian Bird's Home Selling Team pregame show. I am Duke Keith, socially distant from my broadcast partner, Mike O'Baligan, coming to you from separate booths here at Southwest University Park. Mike, no Copa Tejas this season, but still a special showdown in the Lone Star State. Locomotive FC undefeated in their last 5. San Antonio undefeated in 2020. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, tonight's going to be a great one for the fans. Both teams are riding a lot of confidence. San Antonio coming in, like you said, on undefeated in 11 games, not having lost a game in all of 2020, and the Locomotive. We know how well they've played as of late, having won their last 5 games, beating New Mexico United for the first time in their history, and also the defending champs 2 times in a row. So they're coming in with a lot of confidence. Tonight's going to be a great one.
2 good teams meeting for the first time in 2020, the only time in the regular season, and tonight's match could very well be a playoff preview. Because if the playoffs were to start tomorrow, well, San Antonio playing out of Group D, they lead Group D by quite a bit. The top seed in Group D would face the second seed in Group C, which would be Locomotive FC. San Antonio would top, so that means they would host El Paso in the playoffs, again, should the season end today. However, New Mexico beat Real Monarchs SLC. They now have 23 points, but El Paso has 2 games in hand. 6 remaining matches, including tonight. New Mexico has only 4 left. Locos and United do play once more. That match could have huge playoff implications coming September the 26th. Locomotive FC certainly in the driver's seat in Group C, but tonight's matchup, a very good test for El Paso.
Yeah, tonight's going to be a big test for both teams. They get to have sort of a preview of what a playoff game could look like. They both know they're where they're sitting right now in their groups. They could be facing each other in the first round of the playoff. So you're going to see both teams approach this game like it's a playoff game. Because for San Antonio United, if they win this game, they're automatically into the playoffs. They earn their spot. Case closed. For El Paso, they want to inch a bit closer to New Mexico and close that gap. So tonight's going to be a big one. Both teams know they need the points tonight. Both teams are excited for it. I'm sure the fans are as well.
It will be a Texas showdown to be certain. That's going to do it for the Brian Bird's Home Selling Team pregame show. Starting lineups on the other side of this break.
Thank you for watching the pre-match show presented by Brian Bird's Home Selling Team. Score the best deal on a home with Brian Bird's Home Selling Team. Visit ChucoRealtor.com or call 915-751-1500.
Welcome back, everybody, to Southwest University Park as we take a look at the starting lineups. First for Locomotive FC, Duke Keith along with Michael Balogun with you. And Mike, first thing you notice, Distel Zola getting the nod on that left side.
Yeah, definitely. He's coming in to replace Chaparera, who had a terrific game last game. However, he's the veteran. He knows what he's going to need to do in there, so it shouldn't be miss a beat. The Locomotive shouldn't miss a beat tonight.
Yuma also on that defensive midfielder holding role. He will wear the captain's armband for the missing Jiro Intoko, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. For San Antonio FC, again, this is a team that has not lost in 2020. They've had an excellent year, and they have quite the goal-scoring trio up front. Bailone, Solagnac, and Parado have just been terrors. 23 goals this season. That's good for 6th in the USL Championship.
Yeah, they're definitely threatened going forward. However, it's their defensive organization, how stifling they have been on the defensive end. That's been really impressive, giving away only 7 goals on the year. So it's going to be a big test for them tonight with the Locomotive coming in feeling confident.
And I'll give you a correction straight off the bat. 4th in the USL Championship with 23 goals. In San Antonio, in their road whites, Locomotive FC will be playing in the dark blue tops and the light blue bottoms. Maka King, Brian Rebellon, long one up top to Salgado. Andy Fox will try a switch. Well controlled by Solagnac, or at least he tried. Locomotive FC will get it back in the bounce. Dylan Maris, USL Team of the Week for the game-winning goal. Among his other contributions, which were many, had an assist in El Paso Locomotive FC's very first ever win against New Mexico United. And they had to come from behind to do it, which may have been even more impressive. 2-1 at the half to United. 3-2 after 90 minutes here in El Paso. Second in chances created for Dylan Maris. Solagnac swallows up possession. Switch it back. Connor Maloney. Back again to Blake Smith. To the far side. High loop. Box misplays that a bit. But San Antonio returns the favor off of Gorski. Let's take a look at the Southwest University player profile. Speaking of Dylan Maris, again, Team of the Week. A goal, the game winner, and an assist for Locomotive FC in that 3-2 come-from-behind win. And was certainly a huge key. People talk about Maris, but you do have to give honorable mention there to Omar Salgado, was just a beast on the left wing for a full 90 minutes in that big win last Saturday.
Absolutely. For me, in my opinion, that's the most complete performance.
And a shot just wide. Winding up to let fly. Gomez with that new do. Get a piece of somebody off the heel.
And we're going to see this a lot from San Antonio United tonight. Them going direct, looking for Solagnac, who's really good in the air, winning these first ball. I think that's why you have the likes of Yuma starting tonight and the likes of Distel Zola. They're both very good in the air, so being able to help the Locomotive in challenging for the first ball and picking up second balls is going to be really important tonight.
Josh Yarrow keeping it out of the reach of Omar Salgado, who starts on the right, as he did against New Mexico, but about a third of the way into that first half, moved him off to the left, and that's where he stayed. There's Kallman. Brent Kallman on loan from Minnesota United. It's interesting, Dane St. Clair, recalled by Minnesota United. He, along with Matthew Cardone, splitting 3 of the 6 shutouts San Antonio FC has had this year. Offensive firepower and defensive presence. San Antonio has had themselves a great 2020 so far. Dane St. Clair, just a little less than a month ago, recalled by Minnesota United. It's a solid move by Rebellon, but nothing comes of it. Team clean sheets again with 6. San Antonio FC leading the USL Championship. Let's take a look at the Texas Tech Health Report, and the notable absence for Locomotive FC is the captain, Chiro Ntoko. And we await the official word, but Nick Ross, also a notable absence, scored a goal and suffered an injury in that game on the road at Real Monarchs, and he hasn't been back since.
Yeah, those are definitely 2 big losses for the Locomotive. However, we saw them deal with not having 2 big players in the lineup in last game against New Mexico United, so they have capable bodies, capable players to step in and pick up the slack for the missing Nick Ross and Chiro Ntoko.
And the Chiro Ntoko, I guess, memorabilia or honoring their team captain in the pregame warm-ups, wearing the number 3. Everybody wearing the number 3 in pregame for the big man on that back line.
That's always nice to see. Shows how much the players on the team respect him, his leadership, and how much they know they're going to have to step up to fill his shoes tonight.
Box up to Salgado, who is fouled promptly by Mitchell Tainter. And instead of a throw-in, it'll be a free kick. Maka King into the middle, Zola. Nice touch. Gomez trying to make a move inside. And it'll be lifted out for a corner kick. Chick-fil-A corner kick coming, and here comes Dylan Maris to provide the service.
And we've seen them in the last couple of weeks really take advantage of these corner kick and set piece opportunities. We saw Brent Coleman score 2 games ago, and then last game it was Maka King find himself open on the back post. So maybe we'll see something similar in that. We also have Distel Zola, who's a threat in the air.
Zola gets a piece of it at near post, but so does the large presence of Bailone. Lifted in again. Locomotive FC trying to gain control. Great work by Salgado. Gets it back again. Trying to move it onto that left foot. Nothing to go. Fox back into the middle to the far post. Almost fumbled, but eventually controlled by Blake Smith. Locomotive, though, putting San Antonio FC under some pressure here in the early minutes.
Absolutely.
And we have our stoppage. Again, it has gone past the 7-minute mark, which is where it was supposed to start. But that's what this is about. Locomotive FC and San Antonio FC agreeing before the match, as many other teams in the USL have, to come together to recognize the importance of equality, diversity, and inclusivity. They will use the next minute and 46 seconds. Again, it was supposed to start at 7, which is notable in its own right, going to 8:46, another very symbolic number. Not to play soccer, but rather to honor the ongoing movement around social injustice and the need for positive change in our sport and our society.
2 weeks ago, you had the unveiling of the Black Players Alliance, an organization recognized by the USL and the USL Players Association, with a mission to affect positive change in communities throughout the league. This organization released a statement that says, as Black players, we want to use our voices to amplify the issues surrounding racism and social injustice throughout our country and to be a conduit of positive systemic change. In alliance with the USLPA and with the support of the USL, we will continue to shine a light on the important issues affecting not only Black players, within the league, but also communities we support, and we are dedicated to leading the charge for impactful change.
Well done, and getting a rousing round of applause from the capacity crowd. Socially distanced capacity crowd at Southwest University Park.
And it's definitely nice to see. The players and the coaches have talked about how important it is to have fans in the stadium, how much energy, how much of a drive they get from having fans in the stadium. We saw it last week. You know, you could credit the fans with giving the Locomotive that final push to go on and find the late goal.
Dylan Maris whistled for the foul. Come deflect. Maris right place, right time, and here's Salgado. Salgado tries a cross, blasted off of Tainter. Deep throw in here. Let's take a look at keys to the game. Michael, what do you think?
Yeah,
for El Paso.
It's going to be really important that the Locomotive don't get sucked into a transition game like San Antonio FC wants to play. They want to go direct. They want to play direct. So it's important that the Locomotive don't get sucked into that game, because that's not their style. That's not what Coach Mark Lowry has preached to this group. So that's going to be really important with the way San Antonio United is set up and how they want to man mark and really be tight all over the fields. The runs off of the players up front, the runs from the midfield players in behind, it's going to be really important, like we see here for Omar Salgado.
Trying to control off the chest down. He's in a battle for it. Winning that battle will be Connor Maloney. Ball deflecting, though. Locomotive FC getting plenty of bounces here in the early going.
And that's well done by Mishak Jerome, dealing with that big ball. They're going to have to make sure they keep an eye on Luis Solniak, who's a threat in the air, does a really good job flicking balls on, bringing balls down off his chest. If they can deal with the first and second balls into him, it's going to be a good night for them. They're going to be able to get the ball down and play their style.
Well, San Antonio, it is interesting. Alan Marcina, who is USL's Coach of the Month for August, is again San Antonio FC, the only undefeated team in the USL Championship. Well-deserved honor for Marcina, the Canadian, who returns to the San Antonio sidelines, where he won a couple of titles with the North American San Antonio Scorpions back in the day.
I'm sure he's very familiar with Andrew Forrest, who's our general manager here in El Paso. He spent some time with the Scorpions.
Of course, one of the first non-Major League Soccer squads or team organizations to build a soccer-specific stadium, and Toyota Park has been a great venue. Can talk about the conditions of the pitch, which have been off and on from time to time, but it looks beautiful this year. And they've obviously spent some money to make things better, as it should be, for their USL Championship side. A 0-0 draw on that pitch for Locomotive FC and San Antonio in their very first meeting last June, but then we talk about that very direct style. That has not changed. A 3-1 win here at Southwest University Park for San Antonio last year, July.
And in that game, Christian Pirano was a handful. His ability to find pockets, his ability to play off of the shoulders of players was absolutely terrific in that game, and he's going to be one that the Locomotive are going to have to keep an eye on tonight.
Coleman off target there, looking for Maka King after a nice little slip move by Yuma, the veteran Spaniard, 35 years young. And wearing the captain's armband this year. That is knotted down. Barano looking for Solniak, getting in. No foul, play on. Solniak wants the penalty called on Coleman as he and Jerome came together, but it is Ketterer keeping that out of trouble. Just like that. There's Zola. And he'll be called for the foul.
And you saw You saw in that one moment the danger of Pirano, Solignac, and Bailon. Just the three of them being able to find each other and combine quickly off of each other. Almost slipping Solignac in that one moment. Well done by Mishak Jerome to recover and get enough on the ball to disturb Solignac from getting a good shot.
Luis Solignac, the Argentinian, 29 years old, 6 goals, 3 assists this season. Of course, former Chicago Fire player. There'll be a foul. Solignac getting tangled. Maka King offers his condolences, but it's a free kick to Locomotive FC. Solignac basically, and there you see, it scored the fast. Watch the highlights today. 9 seconds in to their last match against RGV Toros FC. Tied for the fastest goal, which is amazing. But here comes San Antonio again. Bailone off to the left. Lifted in, looking for Solignac and headed out of trouble. Good to have Brent Coleman's physical frame in there to lift it out of trouble.
And 15 plus minutes into this game already, you see what San Antonio FC is trying to do. They play that man-to-man style, and whenever they're able to pick up the ball, either on a bad touch or with their pressure, they want to get to go as quickly as possible.
Barano runs into trouble, fights his way through it. My goodness, Yuma takes him down. Play on. Yuma playing physical, but a bad pass out of the back by Maris. Right back to Gorski. That one's deflected. Maloney trying to get it in. Locomotive defensively hunting in packs, but they've needed to. As we are close to the 17th minute, here's Yuma. Just trying to maintain control. The back pass to Coleman. He'll keep it out of trouble.
When you play against a team like San Antonio, it's so hard to settle down and get into a rhythm. With the pressure that they put on you, with how fast they want to play, with how direct they want to play. It almost draws you into playing their style, and that's what the Locomotive have to avoid tonight.
Solignac, I think getting a piece of that was Gomez defensively. Either way, the high bounce easily grabbed by Logan Ketterer. Tied for 6th with 4 clean sheets is El Paso Locomotive, and Logan Ketterer tied for 2nd with 3 others behind Tampa Bay's Evan Laudo. You want to talk about great goalkeepers for teams. You can't leave Matthew Cardone out of the conversation. Cardone, San Antonio native, went to Trinity, has been with the San Antonio organization since they were the Scorpions in 2015. This might be a dangerous free kick opportunity. Victor Hiro, the man they call PC, the Brazilian.
Gonna have to keep an eye on the big bodies for San Antonio.
Lifted in and out.
Bit of miscommunication there from Logan Ketterer and Brent Coleman.
Coleman over the back line, and here is Barano. Quite the Argentinian connection. Bailone, Barano, Solignac. And others. It's a low drive lifted out by Mishak Jerome, and here's Maris. Maris is the lead man. Too much ground to cover. Right back comes Barano. Firmly met by Yuma. He is able to get it to Bailone, but Locomotive FC earning the free kick. You just get the measure of Locomotive FC and their work defensively by YUMA, who is just holding on by the skin of your teeth almost. They're so big and physical, San Antonio.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just big and physical. They're very dynamic with the front three and their movement.
Locomotive trying to stretch the field the other way. That's a long cross. Gatto elects to let it go. Controlled eventually by Fox. Rebellon. Maka King. Brought over from Indy 11 and has started every match. Rebellon mistimes that. King. Low drive. Looking for Zola. A bit off target, but they'll give him another chance. Gomez way out wide. Gomez drives. Cardoni gets a piece of it, but it will trickle out of play on the other side.
Good opportunity for the Locomotive. Love that first ball into Omar Salgado. What they've got to do is they've got to get runners off of him. They've got to get someone that right in front of him that he can lay the ball off easily to.
Box goes to the far post. That's headed down by Gomez, covered by Cardoni. Gomez well covered by Callum Montgomery. And here comes San Antonio FC, broken up by YUMA. Bounces kindly for Barano. Maloney. Over to Yarrow, gets loose of him. Back to Gomez from Rebellon. Maris, YUMA. Locomotive FC wants to space things out a bit. Well broken up by PC. Gets a piece of that as they try to start something to Gomez. Free kick to San Antonio from referee Michael Radchuk. Is our center ref for tonight. The assistant referees Chris Canales and Manuel Vargas. And our fourth official, Marco Vega. Here from Southwest University Park in El Paso, Texas. A big win in the Western Conference. That's a great lead ball. Crossing for no one was Barano. He doesn't overshoot Solignac and Bailone often. It'll come to Bailone. The shot saved by Logan Ketterer. Opportunistic. First real shot on goal, but right at the big man from Bradley U. Oh, that's knotted back, and Ketterer recovers his own mistake.
Talked about the pressure that San Antonio puts on you, and we see it there. Forcing Logan Ketterer.
Who will go direct to Gomez. Zola. Trying to find Salgado, eventually comes to Fox. They want to work on that left wing, and Salgado's back out there now. Salgado, long cross to the back post. That's knotted into trouble. Good work by Rebellon. Solignac, they want a handball, won't get it. Smith, the long ball, direct. Good work by Mishak Jerome to keep it away from Solignac, rather Bailone. But again, San Antonio FC, right on it. Maloney, service, far post, Jerome. Rebellon puts it to a spot. Gomez thrown out. Good physical challenge by Montgomery. Locomotive FC, this will begin a very busy period. 3 matches in a week. And with more on that, let's go down to Toño Dominguez.
So 3 matches in 1 week is definitely tough, but as head coach Mark already did mention, the team was built for a full 34 matches. So we all know Paso is going to be more than ready. And here in the next couple of days, we're going to have a fun one with the return of Noche de Locos on Wednesday, landing right on 16 de septiembre. The Locomotive players are going to be wearing a special jersey that has been popular here in the borderline community. And just looking around, I've already spotted a couple of these jerseys. Last year, this was a very fun match with the Locals winning 2-0 against Colorado Springs. And guess what? This Wednesday, El Paso is going to be playing Colorado Springs once again. Now, it is important to mention that this match is only going to be aired on ESPN+. But the good news is that there's still some tickets available for fans to be here in person. And if it's anything like last year, it's going to be a fun one, guys.
Thank you very much, Tonya. Christian Parado trying his luck. Logan Ketterer on it. Noche de Locos. That was a well-received promotion last year and another great jersey this year. Rebellon. Edge of the area to Maris. First times and parried away by Cardone.
And that's a really good ball. The initial ball from Brent Coleman into Jose Aaron Gomez. And that quick combination to be able to flick it off into Brian Rebellon is what the Locomotive need on this near left side. Omar Salgado has gotten himself in those positions a few times. However, there's not that player close enough to be able to quickly combine with him. We saw how effective it is if you get that player underneath with Brian Rebellon. They just got to get it on this near left side as well.
Maris to deliver the Chick-fil-A corner kick. Locomotive FC, a different team in 2020 on set pieces. See how this goes. That's flicked and cleared off of the line. Good work by Montgomery. Right back at it, Locomotive FC. I think Zola might have got a piece of it. Jacques Jerome gets a foot in. Maris trying to get Salgado loose. They've done a pretty solid job of staying in front of Omar Salgado. He draws the double team, and it is deflected by Tainter, out for a throw.
And El Paso they've got to start getting players around Omar so he's not needing 2, 3, 4, 5 touches just to get turned and faced up. If he's able to lay it off and run in behind, his pace will create trouble for San Antonio FC.
Kalman elects to go back to Ketterer. Yuma. Kalman plays the open ball to Fox. Has some space. Here is Maris. Out to the Englishman, Andy Fox. Salgado. It's a good challenge by Tainter. Gets a piece and the flag is up.
A really good recognition from Jacques Jerome. Seeing the run from Solignac and just stepping, taking 2 steps forward and catching him offside. Good recognition from the veteran.
Fans follow Locomotive FC and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN and ESPN Plus, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and plenty more. Join the nearly 8 million sports fans who've already discovered ESPN Plus and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPN.com. Loose ball, Gomez winds up. He wants a foul called on PC. He won't get it. And it will be a goal kick.
Definitely a lot of grabbing, a lot of pulling. But I think PC just did enough to throw him off balance and now allow him to get a quality look on goal.
Cardone. That's a foul from behind as Blake Smith gets a piece of Brian Rebellon. Rebellon always finds himself on the ends of challenges and blew a wheel. Brand new boots for Brian Rebellon. Debuted this week in training and looking awfully sharp and white. That's the good thing about white shoes is you can add bleach in the wash. All the way out to Gomez. Gomez trying to draw the foul, but Montgomery gets a piece. The last to touch it, and it will be a throw for El Paso. Well-driven ball to Maris, trying to get it further off to the left. Here's Fox. Salgado. Salgado. He wants it on that left foot. Nice job to get loose for the cross. It's headed out of trouble. Gomez lurking on the far post. But again, Montgomery on his game. Here's a long ball out of the back. It'll be controlled by guess who? Louis Solignac. Brent Coleman gets the better of that battle. And over the back of Maris. Further discussion, Solignac and Coleman. Foul is up the field. Hunter Gorski taking out Locomotive FC's playmaker.
And you love to see the fight from Brent Coleman. Not sure what he's upset about. I think it has to do with the dive or the fall from Solignac. Maybe feeling like he's looking for a foul. He's going down a bit too easy. Trying to explain that to the referee. However, you love to see that bite from Brent Coleman.
Oh, the man on loan from Minnesota United as we have our Hydro Flask hydration break. And let's pull up the Group C standings. Our hydration break brought to you by our friends at Hydro Flask. There we take a look. Coleman with further words for referee Michael Radchuk. But the Group C standings led by New Mexico, 2-0 winners against Real Monarchs SLC in Sandy, Utah. A pair of goals by Armando Moreno. And as you take a look at the updated Group C standings, it will be New Mexico leading by 5 points over Locomotive FC pending the outcome of tonight's match. That said, Locomotive FC does have a game in hand against New Mexico. And of course, they will be meeting on September the 26th. And that will be an absolutely massive matchup, Michael.
Yeah, definitely. And the win from last week against New Mexico United has set up that game on the 26th to be a very important match. Obviously, when both those teams go head-to-head, it's always a good game. However, it's going to mean so much with the closeness in terms of standings and both teams vying for that first place finish in Group C.
Well, New Mexico United and El Paso Locomotive FC both with a solid grasp on the playoff positions out of Group C. Next closest Real Monarchs with 10 points. So that does well, but Locomotive FC with that match in hand and added importance to that September 26th game as we restart things. Here at Southwest University Park.
They would definitely need to take care of business tonight to keep that gap closed with New Mexico United and set up for a thrilling one on the 26th.
And a foul called on Mitchell Tainter as Salgado goes tumbling. Salgado's working hard up that left wing. He's not finding a lot of success so far, but as we take a quick look at the replay, they keep it going, and in essence, a corner kick right there on the byline.
And a really physical tackle from Mitchell Tainter. He gets a little bit of the ball. However, he does go through Omar Salgado, who's not a small individual. So it shows you how aggressive and how hard that tackle from Mitchell Tainter was.
Gonna wait for Salgado to get back up and head back into the box. Dylan Maris, he and Josue Aron Gomez, each with 3 goals to pace Locomotive FC. You won't find El Paso at the top of anybody's scoring list. But defensively, that's what Mark Lowry has to make sure they're doing to handle their business. To the far post, tipped out by Cardoni. And King will let it roll into touch.
the one thing Coach Mark Lowry has to be pleased about, even though his top goal scorers only have 3 apiece. It's the fact that they've been able to spread out the goal scoring across 7 different individuals.
Box into the box. Bounces for Zola. Trying to settle it down. We'll give to Salgado, trying to chip. I think he thought somebody else in blue might be there. Namely Zola. Little miscommunication on the no-look delivery, though. Cardoni. Kalman, Zola, Gomez. Locomotive FC wants a foul on Montgomery. They won't get it. Good spell of possession, though, for Locomotive FC. Tainter. Off to Montgomery. Long ball out of the back. Well won by Kalman, who's been busy tonight, and the flag is up. Trying to spring Parano. But yeah, you talk about it. Parano, Solignac, and Bailone. Such dynamic movement for a team that is as direct as they are. You never know who's going to be the guy to spring loose and try to beat that offside trap.
Absolutely. They do a really good job of knowing where the other is. If the ball is going into Solignac, he's looking to lay it off to either Parano or Bailone, who has the third man running. And it's just that combination over and over that's given teams headaches all year so far.
Both teams trying to find a way through. Zola tackled off the ball, comes to Parano, and that will be a foul. Dangerous spot for a free kick. Andy Fox does the harm as Cristian Parano, 21-year-old Argentinian, 3 goals, 3 assists this year, and a little bit extra in the arm. Parano and Bailone standing over it. It looks to be Parano, or Bailone rather. Seems to be winding up, and indeed. Parano gives way. It is a very dangerous spot for a free kick. Any deflection. We've seen it happen before.
I can't imagine that he's going to be looking to beat Logan Ketterer from this.
Bailone will try direct, and it's off the side netting.
A decent hit. However, it looked like Logan Ketterer had that covered the whole way.
Good effort by Maloney. Good defense applied by Gomez. And here's King. A lot of room to run. Well fronted, but King chips his way through to Gomez. Nicely done, Maka King. Neris. Set over. Bounces out, trying to set one up. No love all the way to the byline. To the far post. And a foul in the box and a yellow card issued. It's going to be a penalty coming up as Gomez taken down harshly. Great work by Salgado, chipping away at it from the left wing and the cross, looking for Gomez at far post. He's taken down. It seems Michael Radchuk waited about a half beat, but Gomez is down, and they are calling.
And it looks like it's Callum Montgomery with the flared arm, catching Jose Aaron Gomez.
That's, yeah.
The referee in a great spot to see that and pointing directly to the penalty spot. Callum Montgomery's very, very lucky that wasn't a red card because the arms are out. Elbow catches Jose Aaron Gomez in the face.
So the physical yellow card issued in the 39th minute to Callum Montgomery. And yes, I would say a forearm chop to the face is a foul in the box. And as we say, Michael Radchuk did wait about a half beat to say, did I see what I think I saw? Indeed he did. And it will be Gomez, the offended party. Josue Aron Gomez, who will attempt to give Locomotive FC the lead here tonight in minute 40. Gomez scored a penalty against New Mexico. The lone penalty shot or penalty that Locomotive FC has had this year. Looking for his second penalty and fourth goal against Matt Cardoni. Gomez rolls it just past Cardoni, guessed right, but it was past his outstretched fingertips. Locomotive FC leads here in El Paso 1-0.
And that's a very well taken penalty from Jose Aron Gomez, putting a lot of power on it, fighting the side netting, even though Cardoni guesses the right way, not able to get enough on it to keep it out of the net. What a great taken PK. Low, hard, with pace, finds the bottom corner and puts the Locomotive up 1-0.
Just sneaking it in past that left post. And it's 1-0 Locomotive FC. And it seems this whole match for both of these teams continues on the theme that you take what the other team gives you. Certainly San Antonio has capitalized on the opportunities they've been given. Locomotive, though, first on the scoreboard after the foul by Callum Montgomery. And the smoke pot set off for eighth notch. Capacity crowd of 1,100 here at Southwest University Park, the socially distanced capacity crowd. There you see Alan Marcina. San Antonio FC trying to come up with some answers. They've found a few. It's not able to make El Paso pay as Andy Fox will roll it into touch. Good work to follow through by Maloney. Gorski. Lead ball. Laid off. PC will find along the left wing. Bailone. Long cross to the back post, and that will be a penalty the other way. Drawn by Bailone as Andy Fox puts a hand over the shoulder, and the yellow card is coming. Two pretty obvious calls, leading to two pretty obvious penalties, and we'll see if San Antonio is able to capitalize on Logan Ketterer.
And this one looks a little softer than San Antonio's foul in the box. However, Andrew Fox has got to recognize anything above the shoulder, anything that looks suspicious in that area puts him in a bad position. Bailone does well to feel the contact and go down. Not sure if there was enough contact to have him go down. However, feeling the contact and going down right away.
Let's take a look at the replay and see what we see. As Radchuk inundated by both teams now. Slipped it into the far post. It's not an out by Kalman. It's Andy Fox with the pull down. I'm not sure if he was the one issued the yellow card. The physical yellow card is coming, and it should have been Andrew Fox in the 42nd minute. But we'll get confirmation on who exactly was issued yellow and for what when we can. Either way, it is a penalty. Further discussions PC, the Brazilian. YUMA, the Spaniard. Hugs and kisses all around. Ketterer does have a penalty save this year, but it will be Solignac to add to that 6-goal total. In the 45th minute to equalize for San Antonio FC. The caution was issued, physical yellow card issued to Andrew Fox. Solignac, the lanky Argentinian, blasts it, chips it, and into the back of the net it goes. And a salute to Eighth Notch, drawing the ire of the crowd.
What a cool, calm, collected penalty. I've taken a few penalties in my day, and I've never had the guts to do something like that.
The Panenka? Never tried it. That does take a certain amount of guts, because if the goalie catches you, you look absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, you look foolish if the keeper stays still and reads that well. But that's why he's such an important player for San Antonio.
There will be 4 minutes of Jarrito stoppage time here in the first half. An eventful first 45 here tonight between these two great Texas rivals. So we'll call it a 42nd minute physical yellow card given to Andrew Fox. And behind the contact is Gomez as he's double teamed. Locomotive FC launching one a little too far for Salgado.
That's where the Locomotive have to be careful not getting to that game with San Antonio. They want to play through the thirds. They want to look to combine, find the third man run.
Well won. Salgado lays off after great work by Maris. Going into the middle, PC heads it back out of trouble for San Antonio. Barano, YUMA meets him and gives him a little extra.
And I'll have to say, YUMA's getting a bit of assistance from the referee because he does have that armband on his left arm. Most players wouldn't be afforded the favor that YUMA has seen so far in this first half if they didn't have that armband.
Well, it looks like he was actually shaking things off, but he did come in and lean in with that left arm, didn't he? Long ball out of the back, too long for Gomez. About 90 seconds away from the finish of our first half here in Jarrito stoppage time, tied at 1. Cardone gives that one a ride. King goes down, tangling with Bailoni, wants a call. He won't get one. Meanwhile, San Antonio FC right back at it. Here's Maloney. Barano, back heel. Bad back pass. Somebody zigged when they should have zagged. And Salgado keeps on keeping on. Omar Salgado fights his way through the triple team to give off to Maris. He draws a crowd, doesn't he? I think they watched the game tape from New Mexico United last week.
They put you under so much pressure. Not only do you have to worry about the player that's directly defending you, then you're seeing a double team, and in that case, a triple team.
Gomez, good switch to find the space, and Fox. Fox, low drive. And it'll be goal kick, last touch, Salgado. Yarrow right in front of him. Seconds away from the finish of an eventful first half. And Cardoni will certainly take his time. And we had just pointed out, each team giving what the other takes, or taking what the other gives, as the case may be. And that has been the case for both of our opening goals for each of these teams here in half number one. Put into play, and that's the end of the first half. Tied at 1 after 45. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, plenty more for you, including highlights as we continue. From El Paso, Texas, Locomotive FC 1, San Antonio FC 1.
Accounts 24/7 with GECU online banking, the GECU mobile app, and GECU ATMs. Learn more at gecu.com.
Welcome to the GECU halftime show. The score here in El Paso is the Locomotive 1, San Antonio FC 1. At this time, we want to take a moment to recognize a couple of special people. First, we have Aussie's Pal of the Match, presented by GECU. Amari Pineda is a member of Aussie's Kids Club and loves to support the Locos, especially his favorite player, Yuma. When he grows up, he wants to be a doctor for the Locomotive players. A big shout out to Amari, who is today's Aussie's Player of the Match. Also tonight, we want to honor the Hospital of Providence employee. Highlight is Alejandro Gomez. Alejandro is a registered nurse at the Sierra Campus Progressive Care Unit. Years ago, while Alejandro's grandmother was being treated at Sierra's campus, Alejandro was impacted by the kindness she observed in her grandmother's caregivers. She decided that she also wanted to serve others at the same hospital and the same unit that took such good care of her grandmother. Alejandro has made this dream come true, and we thank her for her compassion and service to her patients. At halftime, your score is El Paso Locomotive 1, San Antonio FC 1.
The United Soccer League and its 47th championship and League One clubs stand united in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can create change. Together, we are united against racism.
Richards. Left foot and right Richards with an amazing strike. On the right foot, a curling effort. Oh, what a goal for the Battery!
Saved and cleared off the line. What a play by Tampocket.
Well, he might have been pulled back. Play continues. Shot is lined up here. Oh, it's in. It's fantastic. Sensational. Floats this to the back post. What a save. Romero denies a Rose goal. Nice recovery. Suarez eyes on Restrepo. Ooh, fires one home. FC Tulsa strikes first in the opening half hour.
For this organization. Here's a shot, and it curls near post at the death.
Welcome back, everybody, to Southwest University Park. Our score at halftime, 1-1, Locomotive FC and San Antonio FC. As we take a look at Group C standings, again, a big one brewing on the 26th of September. Locomotive FC versus New Mexico United. 23 points for United, which did win 2-0 on the road at Real Monarchs SLC today. So they've got the 5-point lead over Locomotive FC. Locomotive cannot overtake them atop Group C, but they have a game in hand, and they will have a match in which to do it on the 26th of September. That will be a big one. Real Monarchs SLC, 10 points, and Colorado Springs Switchback FC with 8 points in Group C, but United and Locomotive in the driver's seat to get to the USL Championship playoffs this year. Our score at half, Locomotive FC 1, San Antonio FC 1, as we take a look at our field here at Southwest University Park. Back with team news and plenty more as we continue. Welcome back, everybody, to Southwest University Park. Our score at the half, 1-1, Locomotive FC and San Antonio FC. Duke Keith along with Michael Baligan with you. Let's check out Locomotive FC team news. And you can't do team news this week without mentioning Dylan Maris for his efforts, the game winner and an assist in that come-from-behind effort against New Mexico United. Maris making the USL Championship Team of the Week. The winner in the 88th minute, and the assist to Maka King on his goal. 28 of 35 passing, and leads the team in chances created with 30. He is second in the USL Championship in that regard. He has been absolutely key to El Paso Locomotive FC's attack this year. And my friend Michael Balogun, part of this next one, the Youth Soccer Club announced in June, that was early June, a 10-month schedule that will include practices, games, tournaments, and other top-level events. A pathway from youth to pro. And I think that's important because there are a lot of very, very talented youngsters here in El Paso. And if you want more information, eplocomotivefc.com/youth soccer. Mike, I know that's a big one for you guys.
Yeah, it's definitely an exciting time to have soccer here in El Paso. You know, to be able to speak about this on a night when you're facing San Antonio FC, who's done a terrific job on the youth side as well, and they're known to be one of the, you know, the leading clubs in the country in terms of youth soccer. So to be able to open the doors for that, for a pathway to players in El Paso has been really terrific, and I'm excited about it.
Absolutely. You talk about everyone from Omar Salgado to Luis Chapa Herrera, who showed up at an open tryout. You've also got Guillermo Memo Diaz, and for his part, Josue Aron Gomez, who was born in El Paso but came up through the Mexican youth system and is back in El Paso now. 25% off entire stock for BLK gear as well. Let's take a look at the first half stats, and pretty even. Passing accuracy, San Antonio a little bit better of the ball in possession, though. As you might expect, a team that likes to counter. San Antonio doesn't care if they have the ball or not. They're ready to knock your socks off when they can, and they've been accurate in their passing when they've needed to be, Mike.
Yeah, they're definitely a more direct team. We see how effective they can be when they find the combination between their front three. However, the Locomotive have done a really good job of managing that, and then also capitalizing on their possession and creating chances for themselves.
Tied at 1 at the break. We'll be back with the first half highlights when we continue here from Southwest University Park. Tied at 1 here at halftime. Our score, Locomotive FC 1, San Antonio FC 1. Duke Keith along with Michael Balogun. Let's take a look at the first half highlights. And both of these teams finally able to break through via penalty calls. Omar Salgado, that one's blasted back out, comes to King. King to Salgado again, far posts, and absolutely ripped Callum Montgomery, taking down Josue Aron Gomez with a left arm and elbow to the face. Gomez slotting that one just inside that left post and past the outstretched fingertips of Matthew Cardone. But Locomotive FC returning the favor. Andrew Fox taking down Solignac in the box, and Solignac with a cheeky Panenka. You talked about it. If the goalkeeper guesses that that's what you're going to do, that is the easiest save in the world. My goodness, that took some doing, but it got done, and San Antonio's tied as a result. Mike.
Yeah, and there's a reason why so many players go to that, because it's so difficult for goalkeepers to read that. Goalkeepers are going to guess one way or another, and if you're able to get that, enough height on it and right into the middle of the frame of the goal, chances are you're going to score that. So it takes a lot of guts. However, it's calculated at the same time.
It is indeed, and we're just about ready to start things up for our second half of play. It has been contentious, as you might imagine. A game between a couple of leaders in the Lone Star State would be Group C second place versus Group D leaders, and we are underway from Southwest University Park. And a quick foul, Rebellon. Let's go downstairs. Tanya Laminga is standing by with Mark Lowry. Tanya.
So I'm here with technical director and head coach Mark Lowry. Coach, it was a very physical first half. Is this what you were expecting?
Absolutely, yeah. Really good game. Two teams pressing, two teams fighting, trying to get the win. It's been a really good game. I thought we've played so well so far.
So right now we're tied at the half. What's going to be needed for this Texas showdown, this battle, for us to get the win?
The same intensity, the same aggression from us, the same energy. We can't drop. It's going to be a tough 45 minutes, but our energy levels can't drop. We've got to keep them high, and I fancy us to go keep creating chances and score a goal, because like I said, it's been a good game so far, and I thought we put in a really good 45.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Logan Ketterer keeping that out of trouble with some help from Ishak Jerome. Thank you, Tanya. Mark Lowry saying he knew this match was going to be exactly what it's been. A real challenge with the very physical San Antonio FC. Play on. Gomez does well, patient, but didn't have what he wanted on that pass. Josue Aron Gomez leading Locomotive FC along with Dylan Maris with 3 goals this season. Of course, his second loan stint from Locomotive FC's sister squad, FC Juarez Bravos, playing in Liga BBVA for its second full season this year. But as we pointed out, young man who was born in El Paso, came up through many of the Mexican youth academies before finding his way home to Ciudad Juarez. Short hop across the border. One of the quietest, nicest guys you'd ever meet, but his play speaks volumes in the field, doesn't it, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. A true professional. Just wants to do the job and go home to his family.
YUMA. Locomotive FC meeting that San Antonio challenge in the middle. 4 goals, of course, 3 goals coming into tonight, 4 with the penalty this evening. Aka King, Harris. Twisted up, Gomez, nice heel turn. Gets loose of Smith to King. Low cross to the far post, Zola. I think they were looking more for Salgado right at the lip of the 6. But Zola, the second runner in. Seemed like something was lacking there, Mike.
And that was really good patience and combination play between Maka King, Brian Rebellon, and Jose Aron Gomez. Unlucky not to find Omar Salgado inside the box. We've noticed Mitchell Tainter has paid close attention to Omar Salgado all match. So it's going to need something special from Omar to get some separation away from Mitchell Tainter and get himself open to put chances like that into the back of the net.
Locomotive FC wanted to go fast. Referee Michael Radchek has other ideas. Zola. Will be whistled for the foul. So he takes down Hunter Gorski.
It's just that left arm that comes out a little bit unintentional. Just trying to protect the ball. Just happens to catch Gorski right in the chin. Ari will feel that one tomorrow morning.
Gorski's still on his knees. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select, the official ball supplier of the USL Championship, many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit SelectSportAmerica.com. San Antonio working again off the feet of Maloney into the middle. Coleman combining to keep it away from Bailone, but it's another foul. PC draws the contact.
Looks like the referee's going over to the sideline. Heard something from the San Antonio bench that he didn't like. Not sure exactly who said it. Somebody over there is going to get a yellow card and a talking to from the referee.
Caution issued to one of the assistant coaches for San Antonio, who's pleading his case with Michael Radchuk to no avail. Oh, it was the head coach. Alan Marcina receiving the yellow card, the physical yellow card, for not staying in his box. So that's a call made by the fourth official, who called Michael Radchuk over, Marco Vega, saying that Marcina was a little too active. Marcina, of course, August Coach of the Month of the USL Championship. Again, San Antonio, the only undefeated team in the USL Championship this season.
And based on the way this game has gone, you can see why they're undefeated. They have a way of making teams not play their style.
Right in the middle, PC, the restart. Lofts one to the far post, and it is off of the foot of Bailone. Goal kick.
Yuma does enough just to throw him off balance, so you can't get enough on that ball.
Here's Coleman. He'll send it on a ride up that left wing. Harris trying to get there, but Yarrow will put it back into touch.
And I actually like that run from Dylan Maris, recognizing that Omar Salgado is going up for the header. Immediately making the run in behind him.
Ishak Jerome looking like he was trying to get Rabellon sprung on that right wing. PC. Yuma. He and Maris get a piece, and Yuma controls. The veteran Spaniard holding things down in that defensive midfielder's role. And here is Fox and Salgado. To devastating effect against New Mexico. Salgado, high cross, lifted out of trouble Montgomery. Zola. Bring it down. Fox. Yuma. Locomotive FC will settle for possession. Jerome. Salgado. Salgado. Trying to look for that far post. Lifted out of trouble by Yarrow. And King will be whistled for the foul as he takes down Bailone.
Really good attempt from the Locomotive, trying to isolate Omar Salgado 1v1 on the outside.
Tainter. Coleman, Maris, and Zola. Zola trying to loft that one over, but Yuma. Up to Maris and Salgado again. Ready to run at that back line. And he'll earn Locomotive at Chick-fil-A corner.
And again, you notice how quickly San Antonio sent multiple players out to Omar Salgado, recognizing the danger that he brings in those 1v1 moments out wide.
They have been very effective in negating the effects of number 9. Maris to the far post, lifted out by Cardone. Rebellon's going to win that race. Lets it go. Ramaka King basically playing in Rebellon's old spot at right back while Rebellon moves up to the offensive midfield. Jerome King coming over from Indy 11. High step for the Englander. Into the middle, Gomez. Yarrow, solid defense on Gomez, and back into touch for Locomotive FC. Fox, Zola. A little loose of him, but.
And he's had a couple of those today where either the touch or the attempted pass has gotten away from him a little bit. He's got to be a bit cleaner, knowing how hard and how quick San Antonio is going to pressure.
Yarrow misses that one. Locomotive FC trying to go fast, and they will. Tainter. Good work by Zola here to spring Salgado. Salgado, low driving cross, and Yarrow puts it over the back line for another Chick-fil-A corner.
And you're seeing images of last week with Omar Salgado running down that far left side. You saw him last week create the own goal for the second goal for the Locomotive, and then also creating the final goal, getting the assist to Dylan Maris on the third goal.
Maris, far post, headed in, Rebellon just wide. Rebellon got by his man, met it firmly, but was not able to steer it on frame.
A great delivery from Dylan Maris towards that back post. You've seen the Locomotive this season target that back post quite a bit, whipping the ball either to Brent Coleman, Maka King, and this time looking for Brian Rebellon at the back post.
Bailone fouled by Maris. I don't know what it is for San Antonio FC and lanky Argentinians, but they'd certainly have had their fair share for this 2020 season. Bailone and Solignac. Luis Solignac, an absolute beast for Chicago Fire in MLS. It's a high cross. Great work by Solignac to bring it down. Bailone. Solignac, the chip back into the middle. Kalman puts it out of trouble. Rebellon trying to get something started on the break. PC. Too far ahead for PC, coming in from the right wing, and Maloney. And two substitutions here in the 58th minute for San Antonio. Again, you can make a total of 5 substitutions, but you only have 3 instances in the game where you can do that. Coming onto the field will be Gonzalo Di Renzo. There's another Argentinian, 5'11", 163-pounder, 24 years old. He will replace Ignacio Bailone. Also coming in will be number 77, Jordan Peruzza, for Cristian Parano. We get our first look at Peruzza, who is on loan from Toronto FC, just 19 years old, and has a signed contract with Toronto FC that will be activated as of January 1st, 2021. But for now, part of the youth side, and they want to get him some seasoning here in San Antonio. Christian Parano's night is done.
And then a very quiet night from Christian Parano. We know what he's capable of and how dynamic and how dangerous he can be in possession. However, didn't see much of that tonight, and that's credit to the pressure and the attention that the Locomotive backline paid to him. Didn't give him enough room.
Great work by Gorski to win that battle on Zola. But a free kick drawn by Andrew Fox. Brent Kalman will restart. Zola. It's the better on that one. Foul whistled as Maris tried to make it around. Zola getting tangled with Gorski. Credit Locomotive FC. They knew they were going to have the physical challenge against San Antonio. They've borne the pressure well. King, nicely done, Salgado. Back to King to the byline. Far post, knotted by Maris. Too much air into that. And a substitution for Locomotive FC. It will be Chapa Herrera coming in for Distel Zola.
And this should give a bit more energy, a bit more life to the midfield of the Locomotive. Distel Zola did well to hold the ball up. However, Chapa Herrera breaks into the box, gets going forward a bit more. It's a bit more mobile than Distel Zola. So this should add a bit more to the attack of the Locomotive.
Foul whistled on San Antonio behind the play. That looks like Lorenzo. Andrew Fox taking out the Southwest University advertising board. And King, that one rolled up on his hand. Yeah, that's a hip check. Rob Blake would be proud. Lorenzo showing off the hockey skills. PC playing it into space. Lorenzo, or rather Peruzza, trying to get loose. And he takes down Rebellon after Rebellon took it off his foot. 19 years old, from Canada, on loan from Toronto FC in Major League Soccer. That one announced this last week, so the fans in San Antonio getting their first look at this young man on loan. Stays in play, Salgado. Draws that triple team. He'll find Chapa Herrera and rolled into touch by Tainter. Rebellon. Harris was in the mixer, but getting a foot to that was Gorski.
And for me, the second half has a lot of start, stop, whether it's fouls, balls being played out of play. It's been really hard to find some sort of rhythm or fluidity in the second half.
Here's Jerome. Gomez, little give and go to Maris, trying to get one wide. That's just blown up. Lorenzo, right place, right time. Rebellon. Into the middle, Yarrow lifts it away from Salgado. Maloney trying to get something started in the counter. Dorenzo deflected and harmlessly to Logan Ketterer. Both teams doing a good job of canceling each other out so far. Harris, Chaperera. Salgado. Salgado trying to take Tainted to the byline. Throws one, bounced off Cardone. And it'll be out for a corner as very dangerously Cardone getting tangled with Joshua Yarrow. Chick-fil-A corner kick, and seeing a little more on that left wing side in half number 2 as he did last weekend is Omar Salgado.
That's a really good recognition from Chaparrera, picking the ball up in the midfield, driving at the back line and choosing the right moment to play Omar Salgado out wide.
Chick-fil-A corner kick coming from Dylan Maris. Delivery near post, headed down. Gomez put it to the top of the 6, but nobody in blue able to get a foot to it. Jerome, the long switch. That'll bounce loose, and another Chick-fil-A corner. Just trying to cover his angles. Connor Maloney. I mean, Shaq Jerome is certainly the man to hit those long switches. And he earns a Chick-fil-A corner for the home team. Far post this time. Sent over the back line. Corner kick on the other side. Gorski got a head to it.
That's a another really good ball from Dylan Maris into a dangerous area. Cardone mistiming that, misjudging it a little bit. Unlucky not to have it go into the back of the net off of one of his own players. But another opportunity for the Locomotive. Serve a dangerous ball.
The man from Zionsville, Indiana, Dylan Maris. Outswinger, far post headed, and Cardone covers Rebellon. It's been the one they've been looking for. Couple of opportunities on headers off of corners tonight. Cardone launches one. A touch by Jerome. The Haitian international. King, Gomez, fought off by Gorski, who controls. Maloney to Dorenzo, rather Peruzza. Taken away from him, Yuma, combining with Gomez. And they'll reset. Chaperera will draw the contact this time from Gorski. On the road and can't watch a match? Turn on Sirius XM-FC, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Meola, and Rodney Marsh. Fans can now listen to the best matches of the week along with action from the MLS, from Major League Soccer, Premier League, and more. That was the replay of the last corner covered by Cardone. Off the shot by Rebellon.
Looks like Sloniak might have taken a hit or had some incidental contact. Used to be limping, doing a bit of a knock on that left foot.
Slap of the hands with Yuma. Good work by Peruzza to get loose and turned aside by Ketterer. Corner kick coming though for San Antonio.
It's always going to be difficult to beat Logan Ketterer at the near post from a tight angle. However, it does earn San Antonio a corner kick. And we know how all the big bodies they have in there, how dangerous they can be on set pieces.
It'll be Blake Smith to take this Chick-fil-A corner for San Antonio FC. To the far post, headed down and straight off of Gomez, Maka King. Locomotive FC on the counter. Trying to get it loose. A little too far ahead of Gomez, and a Caution issued. Yellow card coming up. Maka King still down in the box. We may have a Texas Tech nod to the dock for Ricardo Ruiz. Indeed we do. King is still down. Thought Radchuk reached for the pocket. Indeed he did, and it's PC. As we enter the 70th minute, getting our physical yellow card.
And a really good run from Andrew Fox, picking the ball up, driving at the back line of San Antonio FC, just waiting for the right moment to play the ball. And there you see it, just getting a late hit from PC.
That wasn't even the action that took down King. That was just on the counter attack. So King having to come off the field because Ricardo Ruiz had to come on to it. But PC's foul gives a direct kick to Locomotive FC in a semi-dangerous location. Yuma and Mira standing over this about 36 yards off the byline. Maris knotted out of trouble by Maloney. King right back on the pitch. Waved on by the referee. Salgado drives one far post and lifted over. It will be a throw-in.
That deflection causing some trouble, some concern for San Antonio FC. You see Cardoni trying to adjust to the deflection, wishing and hoping that there was no one at that back post to put it back on frame.
King with a long throw-in, comes near post, gets loose of Kalman, and another throw-in coming. King, a little further this time, and a foul in the box on El Paso. Kalman, a little too physical on Callum Montgomery.
Can't really call this game a chippy one. However, there has been a lot of start-stop. No real rhythm, especially in the second half to the game.
I would say Locomotive FC has had the better of the looks simply because of up that left wing side with Omar Salgado, but San Antonio's had a couple of opportunities. And you're right, it has just been a choppy affair. Choppy, not chippy, correct. This one's less chippy, I think, than the first half. But stopping and starting as working his way out to the left is Smith, looking for PC. Long crossed far post, headed down, covered well. Chaperera able to get it out of trouble. Seven Chick-fil-A corners to one for San Antonio. Well, San Antonio had the last one. You saw it. And 70% to 30% possession favoring Locomotive FC. But again, San Antonio FC is just fine with that. King. Able to keep Dorenzo off the ball. A little too far for Yuma. Solignac. Borutza gets tangled. Herrera the layoff. Andy Fox trying to switch it, but swallowed up by Smith. Well played. Brent Smith. He tries to take one. Deflected by Jerome. And Maris, good defensive presence, but the pass too long and covered by Tainter. Tainter to the middle and Solignac taken down. Good work by Maris. Twinkle toes out to Macaulay. King. Maka King. Rebellon. And now Gomez. Easy pass into the middle. Maris. Miscommunication.
Getting some flashbacks of the Liverpool Leeds game in the last 5 minutes. Just how back and forth it's been between both teams.
As we have our Hydro Flask hydration break, our thanks to our friends from Hydro Flask. Some nice warm tea in mine, and it stays nice and warm all evening long. As we take a look, coming up, the Estrella Jalisco upcoming schedule, as Mark Lowry ready to go to the board. You've got to think, especially a coach who likes to keep everybody as prepared as possible. He loves hydration breaks like this.
Yeah, it's a moment for him to, make some tactical adjustments. I'd imagine he's telling his players they've got to get some different runs inside the box, especially when they get the ball out to Omar Salgado in those wide areas. They've got to get somebody occupying that near post, drawing out players for San Antonio FC. They've got to get someone going towards that back post, and then that pull-back ball that we saw for the game-winning goal last week. They've got to get someone who's making that trailing run for that pull-back cross. So the multiple runs, the different runs, it's going to be something that I'm sure he's talking about with the players. They haven't had those runs in this second half or in this game when Omar Salgado has gotten himself into those dangerous areas, into those areas out wide to serve balls.
Locomotive FC's coming schedule brought to you by Estrella Jalisco. A very busy week indeed. 3 matches in 7 days. Next one coming Wednesday night versus Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC right here at Southwest University Park in Real Monarchs a week from tonight. And then that big one versus New Mexico United. That one circled on the 26th of September.
Still plenty of time left in this game. 3 points will go a long way for the Locomotive to keep that distance between them and New Mexico United. They don't want to drop points.
San Antonio FC with other designs, 3 points would virtually lock them into the top spot in Group D.
Not the worst result in the world. However, the Locomotive have been really good at home this year, going 5-1-1 in their home games this season. So Southwest University Park has been somewhat of a fortress for the Locomotive. They're going to look to, can they get another goal in this last 13 minutes to keep that winning streak going?
They've been able to do quite a bit of that. Dylan Maris, of course, scoring the winner in the 88th minute. Four goals after 80-plus minutes, and in a brief schedule. That is an absolutely huge statistic, that you're being able to score late match winners or game-tying goals in the final 10 minutes. That is a gear that Locomotive, frankly, in year one just did not have.
Leave it.
Here's PC. Good work to the byline. Low cross from the Brazilian. Finds the head of DiRenzo, but glances away. Solignac all the way to the far post, and blazing one by is Maloney. Nobody in white on the other side of it. Connor Maloney has held his own tonight. Dangerous in the attack when he's needed to be. Maloney out of Penn State, where he played his college soccer, 25 years old. has 1 assist this season. San Antonio, 23 goals on the year. For 4th in the USL Championship and number 1 in clean sheets with 6. 24, of course, with the penalty this evening. Maka King, Gomez. Switch out to Salgado. He wants Andy Fox into the fray. He'll chip. Gomez lifted out of trouble by Montgomery. In good touch, Rebellon does well to control and even get a last touch flat on the ground. Rebellon brought down by Gomez. Fed back, Yuma skies one. That one almost made it over the netting.
And Yuma, his highest part, he got really big. Doesn't find himself that far up the pitch often. Looks like he might have suffered an injury off of that shot, or just off of the wear and tear and the amount of work he's put in over the course of this game.
35-year-old Spaniard, Javier Monsalves Carazo, el de España. Of course, played with Jacksonville Armada in the North American Hockey League for Mark Lowry. Yuma trying to line one up and might have been good for 3 in a different version of football. Rebellon does well to fight his way out of traffic. Salgado, well done by Maloney, but a throw in for El Paso. Herrera. El Paso connection. Salgado to Herrera. Blake Smith. Talked about San Antonio FC's excellent youth academy. This has been an organization that has been quite a model from their North American Soccer League days to the USL Championship. Play their kids, they do a good job. Oh, this will bounce nicely. Fighting his way through it is Peruzza. Peruzza, far post and wide. Ketterer covering his angles, and it'll be a goal kick.
And again, you see how well the front three of San Antonio work together. Solniak goes up for the header, and you see Peruzza immediately recognize, I've got to get in behind him. They do a really good job with that, and that allows them to create a lot of opportunities and get in behind defenses with ease.
San Antonio fans loving what they're seeing from their big new number 77. Just 19 years old, on loan from Toronto FC. He commits the foul here and draws the yellow. Guess a bit of a foot stomp on Andrew Fox.
Not sure if the yellow was for the foul. Really soft foul, however. I think it might have been for dissent. Something that was said after the referee blew the whistle.
You see the good side and the bad side of 19. Maka King, that was an ambitious cross. Trying to switch it out to Salgado. Yuma again. The word is we're about to see Leandro Carrijo, the Brazilian goal scorer for FC Juarez Bravos, make his way onto the pitch, but contact and Hunter Gorski is down, and it'll be a caution on Salgado. Physical yellow card to Omar Salgado in the 84th.
And that's an unfortunate one because it just looks like the shoulder of Omar Salgado catches him. I think that has more to do with the fact that Omar Salgado is 6'4", and he's just running by him, and his shoulder just happens to catch him as he goes by. Ooh.
It didn't look like there was a lot in it, but there was certainly contact and, yes, an awkward landing for Hunter Gorski. Still down, and a Texas Tech nod to the dock. Aongaye, the trainer for San Antonio FC, on to take a look at Gorski. And we will have our substitution. Brian Rebellon in the 85th minute will come off, and the Brazilian, Leandro Carrijo, all-time leading scorer in the history of FC Juarez, and gets quite the reception from many fans who know their football here in the borderland.
And we saw a similar change in the game against New Mexico by Coach Mark Lowry. Probably going into that 4-3-3 or possibly some variation of a 4-3-3 with Yuma, Chapa Herrera, and Jose Aaron Gomez being the central three. Omar Sagaro operating on that far left side, and it looks like Dylan Maris has moved out to this near right side to operate as a right winger, with Carrillo being the number 9. So an interesting change for Coach Mark Lowry, looking for that.
There'll be a foul whistled on San Antonio, although looking to get the worst of that is Peruzza, who's writhing in pain after tangling with Yuma. We should also point out the 85th minute substitution. Jose Gallegos is in for San Antonio FC for Luis Solignac. See if we can take a look at this one.
It
well,
looks like
Peruzza's writhing. Go ahead.
And it looks like Gallegos is getting ready to come on. A very promising young man with a ton of potential, a lot of promise. Very exciting young man. Another academy product of San Antonio.
Jose Gallegos, a goal and 2 assists this season so far. Locomotive FC. Carrijo tries to flick it on to Gomez, his former teammate. But it's true, you talk about that San Antonio Academy. Here is a program that has wanted to do it the right way. Usually you associate academies with Major League Soccer, or the upper echelons of the youth development system, but second division or not, San Antonio FC wants to be a part of that process, and they will play their youngsters as they are here.
Yeah, absolutely. In the last 5 years.
Maris skies one.
Sorry, in the last 3 years, we've seen 5 players come out of their academy, starting with Ethan White, who now plays his trade in Belgium, but in this year, handing debuts to 2 youngsters. And then you got the likes of Jose Gallegos, who's just a special young player. Talking a little bit with Matt Williams, the assistant for the Locomotive, and just talking about how special of a young man he is, how good he is in tight spaces, how well he understands the game and can find gaps for himself.
King will put this one in touch with Gallegos lurking. Smith. PC. Gorski, who's back on the pitch. They'll switch it. Good spell of possession here for San Antonio. Tainter. Chipping wide, trying to find Gallegos. Locomotive FC Maris get a good touch to it. No foul called. Fans 1-1 on Gorski for taking down Maris to no avail. Gallegos. Smith. Does this match have a late winner? Offside flag is up. Locomotive FC in the quick restart. Here's Fox.
And that could be a second yellow card.
That is... Wow.
If he doesn't get carded on Peruzza, he's a very lucky young man. And if he doesn't get carded, the only reason he's not being carded is because he's already on a yellow card. And you see the referee having a stern talking with him, letting him know that's the last of it.
Well, Peruzza obviously very frustrated since coming on. But no excuses for the 19-year-old who gets a bit of leniency for Radchik. Here's King, the quick throw in. Trying to capitalize, Maris lays it off. Yuma again, just whistled wide. Oh, he kept it low that time, just not on frame. What a drive by the Spaniard.
And that whistled past the post. Matt Cardone knew nothing about that one. Yuma caught it very well, and you see Cardone well beaten if that's on frame. A great hit by Yuma.
There will be 5 minutes of Jarrito stoppage time here in El Paso. Locomotive FC got it done in the 88th last week. San Antonio can certainly score in a heartbeat. And here is Gallegos. Gallegos trying to swallow up the ball a bit. Earns a throw in. Effort by the youngster. Getting a touch is Peruzza. Locomotive FC will get a deflection, and it'll be a throw in for El Paso. Lots of space for Chaperera. And here goes Salgado, pardon me, Andrew Fox. Off for Salgado now. Herrera switches to Jerome. Back to Kalman. Himself with a goal. One of those open headers on a great piece of delivery from Dylan Maris on corner kicks. To one of the other men, a recipient of the Maris corner. Aka King. Yuma, shifty. Takes the youngster for a ride out to Andrew Fox. Salgado well met by Maloney. Gets wide. Salgado gets tackled out, and here comes a yellow card on Mitchell Tainter. I think Tainter knew what would happen if he let Omar Salgado loose on that left wing. That was a very physical challenge, though, and perhaps fortunate to see yellow.
Yeah, we've seen the battle between him and Omar Salgado all night. And in this moment, Mitchell Tainter just recognizing almost...
Oh, no attempt to play for the ball.
That's a hard tackle.
That's a deliberate and hard tackle off the ball.
But a great opportunity.
Yes.
A great opportunity for the Locomotive to get the game winner here. You've got Dylan Maris on the ball. You've got Carrillo back in the box. A big body, a proven goal scorer.
The Brazilian, Leandro Carrillo. Salgado there as well. See King and Kalman on the far post. Foul right along the touchline. But Dylan Maris has shown his worth, delivering these free kicks and corners in for Locomotive FC. Let's restart taking lots of time here in Jarrito stoppage time. Maris whips one into the mixer and in! And I think it's an own goal. Tainter gets a piece. It's a late winner on a beautiful delivery, once again by Dylan Maris, but I don't think anybody in blue touched it after Maris did.
And a great ball from Dylan Maris, whipped in with pace into a dangerous area. And just the pace on the ball does just how well the ball's delivered. Goes off of a San Antonio FC player.
That is Tainter.
And ends up in the back of the net.
Right off the side of his face, and the deflection. A second straight game with an own goal for Locomotive FC. And perhaps another late match winner. Oh, great look at that.
And this could be a huge confidence boost for the Locomotive, knowing that they'll potentially see San Antonio in the playoffs, knowing that they potentially handed San Antonio their first loss of 2020. This could be a huge one for the Locomotive.
We are past the 5 minutes, but there was a long while between the foul that resulted in the goal and the restart from Dylan Maris for the goal. Another foul earned by Locomotive FC, and another dangerous direct kick that I am sure Yuma and Dylan Maris, they go right to it. Maris, Salgado, trying to take him to the corner, pulls his way through, and it will be a foul as he takes down Connor Maloney.
And that forearm to the chest is the reason why Mitchell Tainter fouled Omar as hard as he did. He does well to lean into his defenders and initiate contact.
Yeah, Tainter probably knew what was coming, and that's it. The final whistle is blown. El Paso Locomotive FC handing San Antonio FC its first loss of 2020 to draw 2 points off the lead and the pace set by New Mexico United in Group C. The Locomotive faithful happy.
Another great result from the Locomotive. Talked about how they've been able to score so many goals as of late. It's almost become a theme for them to find goals late in games. That's a sign of a good team, a team that doesn't give up, doesn't fold in when the game is late. They find a way to get a goal. They find a way to get a result. Something Coach Mark Lowry and the coaching staff have to be excited about, have to be pleased about.
What an effort by Locomotive FC, making a habit of scoring after the 80th minute, the 5th goal after the 80th minute by Locomotive FC this season, which is basically one off of their 6 wins. So 5 of their 6 victories earned after the 80th minute. That will send the home fans home happy on this weekend. Locomotive FC 2, San Antonio FC 1. Lots more in store, lots to look at for this game as Locomotive FC improves to 6-2-3, 21 points, 2 points away from New Mexico United's lead atop the group. But San Antonio FC sent to its first defeat of 2020 here in El Paso. As we take a look at Dylan Maris' service, this proved to be the match winner, the own goal off Mitchell Tainter. Good to give Locomotive all 3 points in El Paso. Welcome back to the Sun City of El Paso, Texas. As the sun goes down, the sun perhaps rising on Locomotive FC's chances atop Group C. 2 points away from the lead set by New Mexico United. A huge 2-1 win over San Antonio FC. San Antonio's first loss this season. As we take a look at our Estrella Jalisco man of the match, it will be Josue Aron Gomez. Close a number of times, but it was Gomez taking the abuse from Callum Montgomery that won Locomotive FC the penalty, and he cleanly tucks this one away. Off and just inside the left post, away from Matthew Cardone. Puts Locomotive FC on the board and had more than a few chances this evening. Josue Aron Gomez with his 4th goal of the season, and he is standing by with our sideline reporter Tanya Dominguez. Tanya.
Aquí estoy con la estrella del juego, Aron Gómez. Aron, el día de hoy, San Antonio eran invictos hasta el día de hoy. ¿Cómo se siente de saber que tú eres parte del equipo que puso el fin a eso?
No, muy contento, muy feliz por mis compañeros, el gran esfuerzo que se hizo y disfrutar lo que vamos por buen camino.
So I just asked, how does it feel to be the team that put an end to San Antonio's undefeated streak? And he said that he feels glad to be able to have done this with his team. I don't know, hoy también fue un juego muy agresivo. ¿Es algo que tú esperabas?
No, la verdad no. Fueron muchos golpes, pero bueno, así se da en ciertos partidos y lo bueno que todos terminamos bien.
I just asked that this was a very aggressive game, if he was expecting it, and he said that he wasn't really expecting it, but, you know, it's part of the game, and he's just grateful that there wasn't many injuries with the players. ¿Qué sigue para el equipo después del triunfo de hoy?
No, pues ahora seguir trabajando para el partido del miércoles, que es muy importante y tenemos que salir a ganar.
So he said that it's very important to keep going even after today's win. They have a game coming up on Saturday and then another game following that. So it's just very important to keep going and just stay in shape. Muchas gracias, Aaron, y felicidades.
Gracias.
Thank you so much, Tanya. Our Estrella of the match, brought to you by Estrella Jalisco. And Michael, let me ask about your efforts or your thoughts on Aaron and this match tonight.
Thought it was good that he was able to get on the score sheet. It's been a couple of games since he scored a goal, and for goal scorers, for forwards, that's really important to see themselves put the ball in the back of the net. Doesn't matter that it was off of penalty. That's going to give him confidence to go into this tough stretch of games where they play on Wednesday and then the following Saturday. So really happy that he was able to see himself put the ball in the back of the net, and that's going to be huge for his confidence going forward.
Let's check out the GECU save of the game made by Logan Ketterer. As we see our friends in Section 105 and other parts of Southwest University Park. It came late, and it came off the foot of the 19-year-old Jordan Peruzza. And Logan Ketterer was right there. You pointed out, hard to beat that man to his near post, Michael.
Yeah, a great save from Logan. Nothing special in the save, however, doing well to make sure he doesn't cheat, doesn't move too early towards that back post. Most players will try to shoot towards the back post. However, recognizing that he still has to take care of his near post and be patient and wait for the shot. So doing well to stand his ground, reading the shot, and making the simple save on the shot from Jordan Peruzza.
Let's take a look at our physical play of the game, and it is YUMA and Cristian Prano. They're in midfield. YUMA, the team captain tonight. Oh, this is actually near the 18. Parano sneaking his way through, and that's a physical play, all right.
Yeah, and YUMA was absolutely terrific all night tonight. He played like a true number 8. Obviously, when you have the Richie Ryans in there, he's going to be the one to dictate tempo a little bit more for you. However, with YUMA, you get a true number 6 who's able to break up plays, and that's exactly what you needed with the way San Antonio plays. You need someone that's able to pick up second ball, break up plays, put in tackles, and that's exactly what he did, and he was absolutely terrific tonight.
I think Parano leaving it in behind, perhaps the reason that was not a penalty, but a very physical challenge indeed by YUMA as Parano leaves the ball behind, and YUMA continues the run, and Parano gets stuck in the grinder as a result. Let's take a look at full-time statistics tonight. Locomotive FC, a 2-1 winner over San Antonio FC. the first loss for San Antonio FC this 2020 season. 14 shots to 10. It was certainly a bigger, better effort in the second half. Shots on target, each for the passing accuracy. Locomotive FC, as it has done all season long, really stepped it up in the second half. And 78% on the night to San Antonio 72. And the possession, as you might expect, you pointed out before this match, San Antonio doesn't care what the possession totals are, but Locomotive certainly did well with the
and settling the game down and not now allowing themselves to get drawn into playing the way San Antonio FC plays. They're a very direct team. They're a team that wants to go big, pick up second balls, and drive at you. The Locomotive are really good in terms of being patient, moving the ball around, swinging it, switching the point of attack, finding Omar Salgado in those isolated moments where he's able to get to the end line and try to get crosses. So they were much better in the second half in terms of playing their style, playing the game, and going to the game plan that Coach Mark Lowry set out. And I think that's why they were able to come out here with a win.
Possession, 60.1% for Locomotive FC. Very well done by the home team. Again, 2-1 winners tonight here in El Paso, Texas, and it's right back at it on Wednesday as we take a look at the Brian Bird's home selling team moving into the next match, and it will be this Wednesday night as Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC comes to town, followed by Real Monarchs SLC. But it's Noche de Locos this Wednesday. You can watch it on ESPN+. We will not have that on our El Paso Las Cruces CW, but there is the next match, 7 in 7 days, so quite the physical challenge for Locomotive FC. But they will certainly sleep happier with the 3 points earned tonight, Mike.
Yeah, definitely. It was really important to make sure they get a win. There's so many things that happened with this win that makes it a big win for the Locomotive. They hand San Antonio their first loss of the season, but also they keep the distance between them and New Mexico, making that September 26th match between New Mexico and El Paso a potential group deciding game. So really big night for the Locomotive. Glad they were able to get a win.
It will be certainly they'll get that game in hand back this week with 2 more matches to come Wednesday and Saturday. Both of them at home, though. So if you can, get your tickets. And, of course, Noche de Loco discounts will be available at the Locomotive FC team shop as well. As we had a capacity crowd of 1,100 tonight, people doing a good job once again, along with the Locomotive staff, of keeping socially distant, keeping those masks on. An exciting evening to be sure, though, here in the USL Championship. It is Locomotive FC, a 2-1 winner over San Antonio FC, sending San Antonio to their first loss in 2020. Still in control of Group D, but Locomotive FC, for their part, a little closer here in Group C to the leaders, New Mexico United. For our executive producer, Juan Gutierrez, our sideline reporter, Tanya Dominguez, for my friend Michael Balagan, I am Duke Keith. The final score once again from the Sun City of El Paso, Texas. Locomotive FC 2, San Antonio FC 1. So long, everybody. We'll see you Wednesday.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.